Now, in evaluating the King radio, the first thing I'm going to do is pull all the tubes out, clean them with glass cleaner, clean the pins up with a very fine emery cloth, and test for good filaments. I don't have a tube tester that will test these old tubes, but if I've got good filaments, at least the tube will light up. As far as emission is concerned, that will have to be seen. But one thing, if you ever do wash up these old antique tubes, you want to remember that when you're wiping them with the cloth, that you don't hold the globe and then wipe or twist on the socket, because this tube, for example, is tight in the socket. But if you clean them roughly and you hold the socket and the glass and kind of twist, you're apt to wreck the tube. To remember, these are very, very old tubes, so if you ever clean any of these old antique tubes, make sure that you're very careful in how you hold the tube when you clean it, and also don't allow the cleaning fluid to get down in the base. You have to really be careful how you do this. Okay, I've got all 6 tubes removed and lined up in the order that they were in the radio. Now there are some discrepancies, or at least one discrepancy. This tube right here in the middle, this is a 200A. The other 4 tubes, the 2 on each side, are 01As, and then the 171 is all the way over to the right. Now, something interesting about the 171 I discovered is that the pins have been filed. So that means that somebody was working on this radio trying to get it to play, or there was some problem with the tube socket, but they filed, instead of polishing the pins, they literally filed them. This tube should still work. Now, all 6 tubes have good filaments. The filaments are in continuity, and they should all be good. As far as emissions, I can't say because my tube tester won't test tubes this old. But the 200A in the middle there, that clear tube, that's probably a substitute that somebody put in. I'm not sure if that'll work. I have another 01A I can use. But that's the tube lineup, and it's good to say that all the filaments are intact. There's no open filaments in any of these tubes. Now I have all the screws out and it's loose, and the chassis is ready to come out of the case, but I'm going to opt to pull this apart outside because it's full of mouse nests, and I don't know what all is going to drop out of it, but I'm going to take it apart outdoors. Okay, I've got it apart. I've got the chassis out of the case, and there you can see is all of what the mouses that were living in this did. And let's take a look underneath the chassis. And it doesn't look too bad. The worst damage that the mice did was the acid from their urine, and the moisture corroded a lot of stuff. I think I can clean that all up, but I don't think that they did any serious damage. I'm going to clean this up and get this on the bench, and then we'll see what we've got to work with. Okay, so here is what we have. I've removed all of the mouse bedding, the stuffing that they had stored in here. Now the beauty with this radio is all of the interstage coils, they're actually coupling transformers are enclosed in these boxes, these metal boxes. So the mice, they had a nest, a big nest here and a big nest there. The worst damage that they actually did was they chewed up some of these wires a little bit. That's easily fixed. That's very easily fixed. Everything else about this radio, the rheostats are in very good condition. Everything else about this radio is very salvageable and very restorable. So I think we have a winner here as far as restoring it. I'm not sure what to do with the rotten old cable. These wires seem to be intact, but I might buy another brown colored, although not the original color coding this cable has. But I might buy another cable from Antique Electronic Supply. I'll save these metal clips that go on the ends of the wires and replace this cable with a new cable, a reproduction cable. And that's easily done. But everything else about this, it basically, there's some rust damage from the mice. On the top of the tuning capacitors, there's a lot of corrosion, but if you look underneath and you see here, there is very little corrosion down below. So I think I can successfully clean those up without having to take them all apart, which is really, really very difficult to do. But so far it's looking good. There will probably be resistors and capacitors that need to be replaced. I may have to get another 01A tube for this. I don't know if the 200A works in the application or not. It may. I'm not sure about the audio transformers. I don't know how good they are, but I'll check those and make sure that I don't see any damage where the mice didn't chew anything up on the transformers, which is very good. Inside the case, there was enough in the corners, enough residue of mouse manure that I cleaned out. In a micro miniature kind of sense, it was like cleaning a horse stall that hadn't been cleaned out in a long time. What I'll have to do here is I'll have to sand. I have to first clean thoroughly, then do a little bit of sanding, and I'll have to put a coat of finish material inside this case to subdue the mouse smell, because once you've got the smell of mice in something, it's very difficult to get it out. You got to wash everything. The rust I can kind of clean with navel jelly and then repaint a little bit with black enamel paint. Very easily to do, easy thing to do. This should be a very, very easily restored radio. So this is as far as I'm going to get with this video, and I'll be making another video as I progress with this radio.